Hello friends, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Mani Shresht, working as Assistant Professor at Haryana School of Business, GJ University of Science and Technology, Hisar. Today, we are going to discuss about the topic Performance Management Implementation. Before starting the discussion, let's have a look at the contents. The discussion will start with the introduction. Then we will go to the performance appraisal system versus performance management system. Then performance management system at a glance, followed by hurdles in the implementation of performance management. Then performance management implementation strategies, and at the end we will have a summary. By the end of this module, students will be able to identify and avoid mistakes while implementing management system, and they will also get familiar with the essentials of performance management system. Performance management in any organization strives to develop an expected level of performance by an employee. A smooth communication between managers and employees measures actual performance against preset standards. In the process of performance management, both individual and organizational goals are expected to be achieved. Whether an organization is doing fine totally depends on the performance of its human components. In relation to performance, organizations generally introduce a system that takes care of attainment of organizational goals through continuously keeping a check on the performance of the employees. Such system is popularly known as Performance Management System or PMS. An effective performance management system offers a unique set of tools to improve the performance of the organization at all levels. To handle the challenges of complicated business environment, organizations require inclusion of right kind of people that possess right kind of skills for a job to deliver expected performance. With the passage of time, these employees require an updation in terms of development of competencies. A performance management system helps in identifying the training requirements at different levels through regular monitoring and feedback about performance gaps. A successful performance management system establishes a directly proportional relationship between rewards for performance and competency of individual. Many of the organizations in India are still considering performance management system and performance appraisal system as one. Such kind of consideration could harm the proper implementation of performance management system. An application of performance management system in an organization requires a proper understanding by the people involved in the process. These implementers include employee, managers, human resource professionals, and top management. Before implementing the system, all the players must develop a clear differentiation between performance appraisal and performance management. Performance appraisal is generally an annual process, while performance management is an activity conducted on a regular basis. The responsibility of conducting and monitoring performance appraisal lies with the human resource department of the organization. On the other hand, monitoring of performance management system could be done at departmental level. A performance appraisal system considers rewarding and recognizing enhanced performances. On the contrary, performance management system looks for defining and setting performance standards. In a performance management system, rewarding good performance is not a necessary activity. Identification of performance factors in the form of key performance or result areas are used to plan in performance management system, and in contrast, these are used as a tool to bring objectivity to the performance appraisal system. The focus of performance management system is to bring improvements in the performance as compared to objectivity focus of performance appraisal system. Both performance appraisal and performance management works on system approach as both follow input, throughput and output format. In both the systems, time-based results are expected. Overall, performance management is putting stress on improvement in performance of an individual, whereas performance appraisal looks for evaluation of individuals on relative performances. The main objective of any performance management system is to improve the performance. Each system works on the basis of connecting various elements of the system logically to get the desired outcome. A performance management system could deliver only through well-laid objectives which are connected through proper measurement of performance followed by suitable reward mechanism. Various elements of performance management systems could be understood as alignment of objectives. Through performance management system, organizational objectives are aligned with the individual job relative objectives. It involves understanding of organizational goals, which in turn helps in deciding various strategic options. Broader organizational goals guide whether to opt for expansion, stable or retrenchment strategies. Each such strategy provides further options to choose from. Alignment of objective elements also focuses on the stand of organization on its competitive position. A continuation of all-round effort is required to improve or even maintain the competitive position. Performance need estimation. Once the organizational objectives are set and strategies are finalized, an assessment of performance related needs is required. Performance need estimation involves concerns ranging from identification of competencies to the acknowledgement of organizational value system. Identification of competencies in terms of skills and resources is done. These competencies are instrumental in creating competitive advantage for an organization. Next step under performance need estimation involves collecting vital concern related information. These vital issues listing enables the organization to identify gray areas whose presence could hamper the production of high level of performance. It provides a basis for developing key success factors related to framework, performance and incentive. Identification of performance related issues, their coverage area and magnitude of impact on the overall attainment of organizational goals needs to be done. Once identified, these problems need to be prioritized in order of their urgency to be taken care of. So, priority setting is done for the critical issues with a backdrop of newer challenging scenario. The final aspects of performance need estimation focus on setting a boundary for the conduct of all the activities of the organization. These boundary is set through acknowledging the core organizational values. Those core values help the employees to obtain the desired level of performance by using ethical means only. Setting performance expectation. The next move after estimating performance related needs is to set performance expectations for managers and employees. Achievement of these expectations eventually results into attainment of organizational objectives. Major deliberations under this stage involve concerns ranging from determining current performance situation to the linkage between individual and organizational goals. Here, it is important to decide the priority of a performance on the grounds of essential to desirable. Such exercise acts as a guide to adopt focus approach for achievement of a particular performance first. A thorough analysis of current performance clearly extracts the area of deficiency. A gap analysis helps to identify the thrust area of improvement. Once the actual and expected performance status is clear, both managers and employees come together and deliberate upon the key focus areas of performance. Such key performance parameters act as a benchmark for the success or failure of a performance management system. The next component is activate performance management process. In this phase, the manager and the employees come together and set the tone of performance for the upcoming year. Both the parties jointly come to a consensus regarding performance related matters for the next year. The focus of planning is in relation to identification of major areas where employee has to deliver performance oriented results, specific goals that needs to be attained by the employee in the decided areas, decision about the benchmark or performance standard against which results are to be compared, identification of performance factors that facilitate the smooth attainment of results, decision about the frequency of joint meetings to provide a feedback, and finally completion of development plan. After planning, in execution, both the parties, that is managers and employees, perform certain tasks. The period of execution is considered as appraisal period. An employee carries out all the activities as per planning. On the other hand, a manager carries out a regular monitoring of activities of employees and provides ongoing feedback and suggestions for improvement. After that, the actual performance of an employee during the appraisal period is assessed. Both manager and employee independently work on their assessment tasks. The last phase is measuring performance management effectiveness. Major concerns related to measurement of performance management effectiveness underline that employees of the organization must be developed in order to improve on the areas of underperformance. A holistic feedback by the manager also pinpoints the major areas of low performance on which counseling could be provided. Another issue worth mentioning under this heading is creation and proper execution of reward management system. Due to globalization, a strong need is felt by the organizations to generate competitive advantage. In doing so, role of human capital is undeniable. The performance of employees becomes integral for the success of an organization. A performance management system could be implemented only if all the components involved are connected in a logical way. Sometimes, few common errors committed by the implementers of the system cause a performance management system to become counterproductive. Over a period of time, experts have identified a number of factors that could cause a performance management system to fail. The implementers must consider these factors and try to avoid them in order to implement an error-free performance management system. First factor is wrong focus. If a performance management system is doing the task of appraising the performance of its employees only, then it is having a wrong focus. While designing a performance management system, it is important to look that the emphasis of such system should be performance improvement and not performance evaluation. If the system is over dependent on ratings and number interpretation, then it starts losing its effectiveness. As already mentioned, the aim of designing a performance management system should be process and performance improvement. Too much stress on ratings might give misleading results. Instead, it is important to look for which activities are performed, then which are performed well, and finally whether the performed activities are priority activities or not. The next factor is badly designed formats. Another design related error related to performance management system is opting for poorly designed formats to implement the system. Many times it happens that in order to implement the system, implementers have to go through a cumbersome exercise of filing tons of information. It consumes most of their time and energy and results into frustration. A frustrated implementer could not focus on other important aspects of performance management system. On the contrary, some of the formats are so simple but lack sufficient guidelines to record the inputs in the desired form. A proper format ensures that it gathers all important input information with least botheration to the user. A proper assistance in the form of guidelines should be provided along with the format. A well-designed format is clear in terms of explanation and resultant understanding. In every format, adequate space should be provided to furnish the required information. Another hurdle is having too many objectives. A performance management system, if designed and implemented effectively, is having a capability to achieve many objectives for the organization. These objectives could range from identification of strengths and weaknesses to competency development. It could also help in attaining individual and organizational goals. A common error occurs when the designers of performance management system considers more than one objective to fulfill. Such a situation actually provides confusing expectations to the managers. As a result, a good performance management system aims to set direction towards achievement of a particular objective. These heightened expectations As a good performance management system aims to set direction towards achievement of a particular objective, these heightened expectations to get multiple results finally ends with a disappointment. It is suggested that priority of objectives need to be decided. Only most important objectives should be focused at a time, and a system is designed to fulfill those objectives. Next factor is too much complexity. Every performance management system is constituted of certain components. The list of components include identification of key performance areas, self-appraisal, review discussions, potential appraisal, etc. Presence of focus on too many of such components could make a performance management system too complex to understand and implement. It is advisable to keep the various components simple and integrated. Each component of the system should be treated equally important, and giving too much weightage to a particular component could turn the system ineffective. One-stop solution error. Many times it happens that organizations at the time of launching a new performance management system mention the problems of previous systems. The failures of previous systems are highlighted without giving a logical reason for its failure. An important reason for failure of a system is lack of proper implementation. But Most of the time, design of the system is blamed for its failure. A hype is generated for the new system and condemnation is done for the older one. Such hype could result into over expectation by the user of the system. Again, if the system fails due to poor implementation, greater frustration occurs. A clarity about the points of improvement in the new performance management system with proper guidelines to make it successful keeps the managers realistic in their expectations. High on the plans and low on the execution is another error. Generally, it happens that organizations put lot of efforts in designing and introducing a new performance management system. Lot of activities and involvement of external and internal players are visible prior to launch of such system. Consultants are hired, internal high power committees are created, educational programs are designed, and many more things happen at the time of creating and launching a new system. But the real problem occurs after the launch of a performance management system, as it requires even more effort by everyone to sustain it. Generally, the effort made for properly implementing the system reduces gradually. To take any system work, post-launch support is utmost important. Continuous monitoring and troubleshooting is essential at the post-launch stage. Poor support system. Success of any performance management system depends upon the kind of support it receives after introduction in the organization. Such system demands support to the employees in terms of provision of being heard about the difficulties faced, regular feedback to keep the performance on track, and other resources to perform at higher level. Another hurdle is questionable commitment level of top management. A performance management system suffers when top management is not 100% committed to make it successful. Due to shortage of time and nature of their job, top management officials do not treat performance planning and review as priority tasks. They are more focused on the performance rather than review of the performance. As top management actions are seen as benchmark for the rest of the organization, everyone else in the organization receives a wrong signal. Rest of the employees also starts ignoring the monitoring and review aspect of performance management system. Ideally, top management must indicate the relevance of performance management system through their verbal and non-verbal and formal or informal communication. And the last hurdle is lack of flexibility. As the business environment is unpredictable, an organization must be ready to handle any adversity. The dynamicity of the environment demands flexibility in all the systems. If performance management system is designed as a rigid system with no or little scope of modification, then it might create a hurdle for the organization in a longer run. A flexibility element in any system always provides a scope for future improvement. As the competition increases day by day, organizations need to devise newer strategies to remain competent in the market. On the same lines, in order to improve the effectiveness of performance management implementation, certain strategies need to be applied. Some of such strategies are consent and commitment of top management. The top management of the organization must have a clarity and consensus about the aims, performance measures, and performance targets. It helps in proper implementation of performance management system. Higher level of commitment by the top management sends positive signals in rest of the organization about the relevance of such system. Creation of performance-oriented work culture. Human effort is essential for the success of performance management system. All-round effort is expected only in the case when organization is having a strong performance-oriented work culture. To create a proper work culture in the organization, challenging jobs needs to be offered, career growth opportunities are to be provided, work-life balance is promoted, and a proper reward system to be established. A high performance driven culture helps the organization in attaining and retaining the best talent. Slide 28. Involvement and ownership. Commitment of top management is not sufficient to make a performance management system work. High level of involvement and accountability of managers is also essential. Involvement and ownership. Commitment of top management is not sufficient to make a performance management system work. High level of involvement and accountability of managers is also essential. Managers are the connectors that could facilitate the smooth transition of the system. If the managers are taking responsibility for their actions, then it is much easier to implement the performance management in the organization. Training and feedback. Employees working at different levels in the organization needed to be upgraded in terms of requirement, expectation, tools, and procedure for successful implementation of performance management in the organization. Regular training and education enables the employees to handle the difficulties arising during successful implementation of performance management. Culture of open communication. If an organization establishes a culture of open communication among employees, it is helpful in proper implementation. An appropriate mechanism of communication and feedback enables the smooth flow of critical information within and outside the organization. It also increases the acceptability and respect for each other's point of view. A constructive feedback and positive reinforcement could do wonders in proper implementation of performance management. And finally, refocus on improvement. Keeping in mind the main aim of performance management, it is important to create a disconnect between performance and reward administration. Performance management supports improving performance rather than rewarding performance. If such disconnect is not created, a performance management system would convert into performance appraisal system. To summarize, in relation to performance, organizations generally introduce a system that takes care of attainment of organizational goals through continuously keeping a check on the performance of employees. Such system is popularly known as performance management system. An application of performance management system in an organization requires a proper understanding by the people involved in the process. These implementers include employee, managers, human resource professionals, and top management. Before implementing the system, all the players must develop a clear differentiation between performance appraisal and performance management. The focus of performance management system is to bring improvements in the performance as compared to objectivity focus of performance appraisal system. A performance management system could be implemented only if all the components involved are connected in a logical way. Sometimes, few common errors committed by the implementers of the system cause a performance management system to become counterproductive. As the competition increasing day by day, organizations need to devise newer strategies to remain competent in the market. Happy learning!